This hangout on air is live! Thank God.
Oh.
Sorry, everybody. Let's try that again, shall we? Yeah, they've given up on us at this point. Okay,
Yeah,
so let me get my intro. Here we go. All right. Well, hey, fangirls and fanboys. It's episode 109 of Electric Fancave and ElectricFeast.com, and we're back at you live because it turns out technology of all kinds sucks. Sigh. But Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we're going to hit you with some pop culture for the next hour or so. This week's Hamilton's very last live Ham for Ham show happened, and spoiler alert, it was perfect. We found out what Thor was up to while the rest of the gang was doing that whole Civil War thing. Netflix reminded us why we just can't quit them. Ben Affleck revealed the latest Batman villain, and the trailer for a dog movie, the entire premise is the dog dies, came out.
Spoiler
Fans
alert.
we've broken up with over the course of our lifetimes. Let's get going, eh? All right. So, We're doing this, laddie. Trying it the old-fashioned way and hoping. I say hoping more than one would think. That's like one of my most common, like, tongue-tied things. Do you have one of those, like a word you always stumble over?
I'm sure I do. I don't know.
Or like
what
a word you misspell. Is there something that seems really obvious that you have to spell on a regular basis that you misspell?
I don't misspell it, but I have to think harder about it than I should. And the word is Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. You know, in my head, my entire life, I've always said Wednesday. So it's never been a big problem. But that makes sense.
Like it's one of those things where I'm like, I spell it right, but I like hesitate.
Right.
I'm like,
yeah. Like that can't be right. Yeah, I feel that.
Tomorrow I used to have to pause on too. I'm like, why is this word so hard? Why do I want to put like double letters of everything?
Yeah, just
I think it's like Mississippi,
as many as every letter.
Yeah, I'm just like 2 O's, 2 M's, 2 R's, 2 W, like just all double letters.
See, the ones that you've mentioned are all ones that in my head I have other like things for. So I always say Wednesday, or I split up.
I get it, Corey. You're smarter than me. I get it.
No, I do have my own way. But I always say Tom Oro instead of tomorrow, like it's somebody's first and last name, Tom Oro. And so there's clearly only one M in Tom. And then Mississippi was an Annie, MISSISSIPPI, Mississippi. And so that's why I remember that.
I know how to spell Mississippi. I just want to spell Mississippi like tomorrow and make all the letters double.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I got you. The one that always gets me is committee. I cannot ever spell committee, no matter what. I just wait for the red line, and then I just keep on switching my letters until I get the proper doubles.
I follow Duncan was retweeting, and so now I'm following this one Twitter person, and it's like a satire Twitter handle of why I'm not it's like not a feminist or something.
Oh,
I forget. One of those funny ones, and she's like, I don't need feminism because it's like always how it starts, you know, and then it's like hilarious. But it's funny because every time she spells feminism in some funky way, she's like, I don't need feminist nicks, you know, and then she's like, because of this, and it's so fun. And at first I thought, I'm like, at first it took me a second, so I'm like, wait, what's happening in this thing? Does she not know how to spell it? Like, and then I'm like, oh no, this is like her shtick of like not, you know, she doesn't need it because whatever, but it's hysterical. Yeah. Because sometimes it's like complete. Sometimes it is almost the way you're supposed to spell. I'm like, oh, okay, and then sometimes you're like, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, something about misspellings is just inherently hilarious to me. You know, there's just something about a good misspelling that will get me. We have to, at the top of our show here, wish a very merry birthday to our very favorite Kiwi. And no, I don't mean Carl Urban. His birthday was a while ago. I mean Melanie Ray.
Yay!
So, Melanie, happy 27th. If you were born in 1989, you would be 27, right?
Oh, we're not going to go there.
We're not doing this. We've already had enough trouble this day without trying to math. But I'm going to say happy 27th. And if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But you're a delight and wonderful, and we look forward to another wonderful year of the life of Mel.
Yay!
Yeah. I was flipping through Facebook earlier today, and came across a podcast from NPR. It's like All Songs Considered as opposed to All Things Considered. They had an episode today where they talked about bands that they had broken up with over the course of their lives.
Okay.
Yeah, which I thought was fun. And they had like 4 different categories of why you would break up with them. I don't remember exactly what they were, but they were along the lines of you grew apart, you don't really follow them anymore, but you look back on them fondly. Essentially, like split and never looked back. Like, something about something they did pissed you off, whether they said something or their music took an odd turn or something of that nature. And I can't remember what the other one was.
It was bands you simply grew away from with age, bands you no longer follow, bands you still remember the good times, bands you no longer follow but still remember the good times, and bands you'll stick by no matter what.
That's it. Bands you'll stick by no matter what. It was the one you don't break up with that I forgot about. And so this is kind of a fun thing to think about. Listening to theirs, the ones on the NPR podcast are kind of what you would imagine of people on an NPR podcast listening to, where you're like, who would have been into that in the first place? Like, you people are way too young for your interests and things of that nature. Everything they played was just cacophonous. Although one of them, it was Sting. I was like, yep, yeah, I get that. He was like, I loved him, and now when I hear him, all I hear is smooth jazz. I get that. U2 is apparently a very common one amongst listeners and the people on the podcast. A lot of people loved U2. Can't stand them now. Weezer was another one that was on there.
Oh.
And yeah, a lot of people, they have like Pinkerton is the ideal, and then you got Blue, and then once you get anything past that, people start jumping ship and claiming they suck. I actually love Make Believe, the album that everyone thought was the absolute proof that Weezer was terrible. So I don't know, but these were amongst them. So Kristen, I'm curious as to what are some bands that you've broken up with over the course of your life?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to think about this beforehand, so now I'm like frantically trying to think of bands.
I did get a chance, and I didn't totally think it through. So
it's one of those things where I should have like scrolled through because I know for sure still have them on my iPod,
right.
So if I like
your
were to scroll through, like, oh, that guy.
Do you have like everything you ever had? Like, do you transfer computer to computer all of your music?
Yes. Yeah.
I was over at Bree's place the other day, and her computer is literally like on her entire hard drive. She has used up like 95% of it, and I was like, "How have you used so much of your hard drive?" She's like, it's all music. Like, what? Because now I only basically transfer music I absolutely need that I can't find on Spotify to my computer.
Yeah. Well, because when I was younger, I didn't. Oh, and actually, now that I think about it, I still have like a whole box of CDs in the garage.
Nice.
And so I wonder if even all of that got transferred. So some of it still just might be on the CD.
Yeah.
I never got put on my computer. But I do have like some stupid amount of songs on I have an actual iPod for my birthday.
She has an iPod that's just for iPods.
Yeah, my mom bought me a touch iPod because my old one, I had like the first generation video that was like dead. It like couldn't work unless it was plugged in. The screen was starting to go. I couldn't add any more songs to it. It was like the worst.
You remember how awesome those were when they came out? Like, oh my God, it's an iPod.
You could watch a video on it. It was huge. I mean, it like changed my life. I remember watching, what did I download? Something stupid. What was it?
I downloaded like every sample TV show that was like free.
Yeah, it was so like many The Office. I got like a sample episode of The Office, and you'd watch it on this like teensy screen. I was like, oh my God, it was so funny.
I remember taking that thing to 24-hour fitness and watching whatever on it.
Yeah. But anyway, so now she got me an iPod Touch that has like all I put on. I'm like, there's like apps that came preloaded on it. I was like, how do you take these off? This is just taking up room. I literally just want it for music. That's it. I have a phone. And at first, when I first turned it on, it was like hooked up to the internet. And so I kept getting like iMessages. I'm like, whoa. I don't want iMessages on this thing. Like, no. I don't even need the Safari app. I don't want anything. I don't want anything on it. Anyway, bands I broke up with. I should pull it out. Maybe it's in there somewhere. Oh gosh. Probably. Let's see. I've already forgotten now what the thing. I mean, there's always stuff like those I listen to and like In Sync, but they broke up.
Right.
But I would still listen to them if they were together.
Right. Because that's my thought is probably in terms of that last category of ones you stand by forever. It's like most boy bands for me.
Because
they're still together. Yeah.
Right.
New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees. Like, I will still buy their
But then again, like it's almost that's almost an unfair thing to say because they're stuck in a time, you know, where they're still making I mean, I guess Backstreet Boys still kind of makes music, but for things like In Sync, it's like, well, when they break up, it's like they're like now immortalized in that time where they can't do wrong now, you know?
Yeah. That's the thing is I think it has to be a band that like, it's not just a band that you know, I mean, it's a whole other thing if they just don't make music anymore and so you've kind of forgotten about them as opposed to a band that continues to make music. You don't listen. Like for me, the biggest one, there's two. The biggest that I just grew out of was Switchfoot. I was a huge Switchfoot fan when I was in high school. I wore Switchfoot t-shirts all the time. One that said I like Switchfoot to every other band's concert I went to. Like the local radio station called me Switch as a nickname. It was like a thing. And the album that really kind of like spread and got them huge was The Beautiful Letdown. And I actually didn't super like that album. Mm-hmm. And so I like kept listening though because it was like Switchfoot is my band, you know? And they kept coming out with other things, and it was like, yeah, it's fine, I guess. And then eventually I just stopped buying Switchfoot albums, and I don't really follow them on anything. And it was just like they totally faded out for me, and it was a thing that I absolutely loved for this span of my life.
Yeah.
And the other one's Green Day. I was like, Green Day was my first favorite band. You know, and I mean, aside from New Kids on the Block or whatever, but when I was old enough to really have a favorite band and make sure that I saved up my allowance to buy their CDs and everything, it was Green Day. And it was at American Idiot that I was like,
Is that the
like
play?
I know they're pop punk, but this is like really, well, to play now. It wasn't at the time. It was an album first.
Sorry. You're saying when that album came out.
Yeah, the album when it came out. I was like,
I don't know. So you broke up with them after you saw the play. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I've still never seen the play. No. Because I never really liked their music much after that. So they're kind of in a place and time for me that I was like, yeah, not really into it. And I rarely revisit their old stuff. When I do, sometimes it has like a nostalgic feeling for me, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. I think, sorry, I forgot. I'm on my computer. I can look at iTunes. What's wrong with me?
That's true.
Like I've never used the computer before. I was like super into Dashboard Confessional.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Word. So remember he like, it was you loved him because all of his music was so sad. But then what happened is he like found someone to love him, and then his music got kind of happy, and I was like, yeah, but your music's like happy now, and that's not what we want. Like we want you to be sad.
Yeah.
That's what
right. It's like, I'm glad for you. I'm glad you found someone, but for me, it's you know, it doesn't work.
I really just need like I just really need like this bitter pill, or like Again I Go Unnoticed.
Right?
That's
oh my
god.
I
need from you. Oh, Brilliant Dance. That was always my jam. I would like just at the top of my lungs sing that song.
Yeah. And when we were in high school and boys just seemed like a foreign language and life was hard, you know, it was like, all of this really, you know, Dashboard was definitely my breakup anthem stuff. Like they
even
were
just I had a bad day.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like,
Dashboard.
I just need to mope for a while. Listen to some Dashboard.
Just gonna be like moody and sad. Gosh, that was so lame. Oh man.
Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, although I went and saw Dashboard this past year, and he is adorable when he's singing happily. I will give him that.
I guess.
You know, I don't. The music doesn't resonate the same way as when he was sad, but it's fun to watch him do it now. He's a totally different performer than he was back then.
Right.
there's that.
And then this next one actually isn't a band. I'm going to go with artists because I feel like I listen to more like artists than actual bands. And my brother and I, we talk about this almost like pretty consistently, actually. We'll bring it up. It's like, oh, remember he used to be good. So I was a huge Brad Paisley fan when he first started.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, like I went to multiple concerts. I kept buying his CDs. And then I'm just like, God, he got like really bad, just bad. Like he stopped. I don't know what happened. Where he was like,
I mean, he made that song with LL Cool J.
Yeah, I know it. I don't even want to go there with you. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. Because the other day I was listening to his first album, which was called Part 2, or Who Needs Pictures? Actually, listening to a second album, Part 2. And it was like, just like good, like country music. Just, like his girlfriend was leaving him. Right. He left some comfort to go fishing instead. Just these songs that were like, good, honest country songs that weren't over the top. And then like his next album got a little bit of like kind of the cheesiness. I'm like, well, it's okay though. They still had some really good songs. And I'm like, I think I
liked whatever the next one was. The one that came out around like 04, 05.
Yeah, it was Mud on the Tires was the one.
That's the one. I had that one. Yeah.
And I liked that one. And that one was a little bit more like, okay.
It's cheesy.
It's cheesy, but they're like cute. It was like cute because it was like new cheesy. Yeah. And then it just deteriorated quickly.
Yeah.
And I kept buying them. And then it was like, I have to stop. This is just, I can't. Right. Sad because I'll go back and listen to the first part. Anytime I'm ever listening to his old music, I'll text my brother and I'll be like, oh, remember this song and how it was so good. And I'm like, now I'm just like, every time he releases something, I'm like, oh God, why?
Yeah. I hate that feeling. Yeah, it's the worst.
So that one was, I definitely had to break up with him.
Yeah.
One,
yeah. I think
that's what I feel like I just want to grow from them, I'm like, nah. Like I liked it for a little bit. I was super into Muse for a long time. I loved Muse.
I didn't realize.
I loved them. I thought they were great. And I'm like, now I'm like, meh. Like even I'll go back and listen to a couple of some of their songs. I'm like, I don't even really know why I don't really think I like it that much. Why did I like it?
That's what Muse was my ringtone when I came to college. Like the first time I could get a ringtone that was not just like
right.
And it was, what was the song that was really big around that time? It was like the first big hit. I know they've been around a while, but now all I can think of is all their anthems now. Anyways, it was my thing then. And
was it Supermassive Black Hole?
No, it was.
Was it earlier than that?
I think it was around, I think it's the same album. Not Hysteria. I think it's the same album though. Whatever it was. Time is running out. Time is running out is what it was.
Time is running out.
Time's running out.
It's not that one. But we've had this conversation about how that's a song that no one knows but me. I know what song you're talking about. But I like Time is running out. That's what I think people say that.
I think one of our ending things on one of our episodes is actually just both of us saying that.
Time is running out. I'm going to say it as we get closer to the end of this podcast for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So yeah, but when I listen back to it, I'm like, it's a cool song, I guess, but I'm not as in love with it as it was then.
Yeah. Songs in terms of that's the thing. Like, I was the other day. I had John Paul White, right, who used to be part in the Civil Wars.
Yeah.
He came out with a new album. And Megan Vest, right? So our buddy Matt Vest, who has Matt Vest versus his Friends podcast, his wife Megan had posted something like a while ago about how she was excited for the album. So then when it came out, I messaged her on Facebook. I was like, oh, this is what I'm listening to all day. And then she commented back a couple of week maybe later. So she's like, okay, so what's your favorite? Like, what are you listening to? Do you think this one song is about joy, right? About the breakup, breakup of their band and stuff. So her and I were going back and forth, and we were talking about, and I even kind of forget how it ended, but it was something to the effect of like, I was saying like, I try not to be super judgmental about people's music tastes.
Right.
Because we all have something that you're like, oh God, I can't believe I listened to that.
That's just weird. Yeah.
But also at the same time, like maybe at the time, like that was something you really need, or like that song, like it may be like the world, everyone hates it, but for you, for some reason, it like means something to you.
Right.
And so I'm like, I can't. And so I try not to, even though sometimes people say things, I'm like, ugh, and I like want to roll my eyes. I'm like, no, don't roll your eyes because they love it. And that's what music is supposed to be. The end. Even though in karaoke, I do reserve the right to judge people for their choices.
Oh, that's a whole other thing.
That's a different.
When someone does at karaoke,
very different.
Very judgeable.
But
very judgeable.
Normal terms.
Yeah. The final part of this maybe is the bands you'll stick by no matter what. Which, as I said, obviously boy bands. If a boy band still exists that I loved then, I will still listen to them. BSB, NKOTB, 98 Degrees, all that. Boys to Men. They come out with things. I will buy that album. I will go see them live. All of that. Also, Bayside is a huge one, which my sister took me to see last year. I will always have an obsession with Bayside because they're another one. They're kind of like Dashboard for me, where it's just like they sing my life, and I'm like, I just feel it from the depths of my soul. And I feel like I had another thought. Probably the Killers. I love the Killers so much, and so every time they come out with something, which is infrequent at this point, or if Brandon Flowers comes out with something by himself, I will absolutely do that. I don't know if I've ever told you this story before, but or told the podcast audience this story before, but when my boyfriend Ben and I broke up my freshman year of college, just before my sophomore year of college, we had tickets to go see the Killers that November, and Ben had like gotten up and waited to get them because they were going to sell out super quick, and he got these tickets. And breakups are messy and suck and all that kind of stuff, but I was like, oh, no way do you get to keep those tickets. And so he obligingly gave me the tickets to see the Killers, and we were like barely speaking to each other at that point. Like, we're so mad, but he gave me the tickets to see the Killers, and Kent and I went and saw them. So it's a delightful little memory of Kent and I having a grand old time partying to the Killers, and I've loved them forever.
There you go.
Yeah. How about you?
Again, I'm trying to think. I guess I'm not a band person. I'm like
singers count.
A singer's person. I think someone, and this kind of just goes back to NSYNC, I will buy anything that Justin Timberlake puts out forever.
Yeah,
like
there you go.
There's a place in my heart for him that is like no one else. You know what I mean? And it goes back to that like love of like when I was 12 and like, oh my God, I'm probably gonna marry him someday, which is like hilarious now.
Right.
But like now for me, it's like even when like when he did Future Sex Love Sounds, which I'm like, this album is kind of the worst. Like I don't super love it. There's some songs on it that are just so terrible. And I'm like, I mean, some songs are great.
It's trying to be an artist on that.
It's like when he was definitely trying really hard there and trying to leave. I mean, Justified was like a really good stepping stone from NSYNC into like in solo artist. Like, and I love that album. And then Future Sex Love Sounds, I'm like, okay, like there's some great songs. What goes around is great, but some of some were just like Future Sex Love Sounds, for instance, was terrible. He had a space song on there, Space Coupe or something, that me and my friend Stephanie were always like, what the F is happening? But then he like left us for so long, which like could have been like, fine, Justin, if that's what you're gonna leave us with, and fine, whatever. And then it was like when he came out with 2020 Experience, I'm like, oh my God, it's like my life was complete. It's like, it's what I've been waiting for. I will stand by you, even if it's only like every 7 years that you decide to come out with an album. Like every 7 years I will buy it, and every 7 years
maybe is the best way
of money on concert tickets. So I think I'd have to go with him for sure. He's going to be that guy that no matter, I mean, even if it's like I'm going to buy the Trolls soundtrack when it comes out. I'm not just going to buy like one Trolls song. I mean, I did buy Can't Stop the Feeling, but I'm going to buy the entire Trolls album.
You're going to complete the album.
I'm going to buy all of it. I'm actually, no, this was still a single. So I'm probably going to rebuy Can't Stop the Feeling because it's like the album version.
Wow.
Like,
nice.
I'm going to have to rebuy it because I'm obviously going to get that, which is like super weird.
Clearly.
But,
that's dedication right there.
Yeah. So it's a deep love.
Yeah. Also, you know what? this being a very recent one reminded me, Jimmy Eat World is another one for me.
It was actually funny because as I was scrolling through my iTunes, I saw Jimmy Eat World. I'm like, I can't believe Corey hasn't mentioned Jimmy Eat World yet. She just posted something about them like 3 days ago. I was listening to the song on repeat all day.
Yeah, no, and they posted another one today or yesterday that I also listened to like 10 times. There are times that they like vaguely slump for me, kind of like what you're saying with Justin Timberlake having an off album or whatever. But I will listen, I will buy, and you know, if I have the opportunity, I will go see them. Yeah, absolutely. Love Jimmy Eat World. You do no wrong.
I'm starting to think Jamestown Revival is gonna be a close second in that category. Okay. They're like kind of a newer band. I haven't listened to them for that long. I don't think they've been around for that long. But like I've seen them twice. I'm gonna see them again because they're opening for Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats next month.
Ooh, nice.
At the Greek. I've never been to the Greek in my life, and I'm going. I'm going to be 4 times this year. By the time this year is done, going twice next month to up there. So anyway, so I think they're going to be a close second because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to be at the Greek. It's like,
hold on. Did you unplug your mic by accident or something? Because you are not making any sounds. Can you hear me? Yeah, look around, make sure nothing muted or anything. Didn't pull out anything. Top of your screen. Your microphone thing is good. Maybe just click mute and click it back. Nope. What the heck? That's really weird. How about you leave the call for a second? I will read our people who commented thing. There we go. And she left. Okay. So of listeners and Facebook people, Ryan Clark says, Hanson and I grew apart, but from time to time, I still check in to see how they're doing. AKA, I blast all of their old albums and sob. Yeah! Oh man, Hanson was a huge one for me when I was in 6th grade. You know, by the time they had gotten older and like released like Penny and Me and stuff, I was like, that's a cool song, but I didn't listen to them a ton. But they will always have a special place in my heart, those little high voiced boys. Hey!
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so I just read Ryan's. Sarah Hyatt, Christian music has burned a ton of bridges for me. Fire and Frenzy after Reese posted about voting for Trump out of spite. Ooh, I missed that. I'm glad I missed that because Reese Roper is my love. Justin McRoberts after he played devil's advocate extensively in a discussion about abuse. Oh, that's no good either. I loved him once upon a time. She said, maybe I need to stay off social media. The Backstreet Boys and me are still cool, though. Timeless. Yes, agreed. Yeah, it can be a real problem when talking, essentially. Yeah. Social media has a tendency to bring out the sides of artists that you wish you never saw. And Kent said Len, which makes me laugh. Do you remember Steal My Sunshine?
Yes. Doesn't somebody sing that one at karaoke a lot? Is it him?
I don't know. But I used to make fun of him so much in college because he loved he didn't love Steal My Sunshine. He kept on insisting the album is super underrated. Steal My Sunshine is not the only song on it. I'm like, okay. Yeah, sure. And I've like legitimately never heard anything on it, so I'm just being a douche. But you know, he would be driven angry by that. Also, he was really into Jet when we came to school. And Are You Gonna Be My Girl? Yeah.
Oh, I like that song too.
It's like, yeah.
Me and Ken should have hung out more. I would have defended him.
Yeah, clearly you would have been on the same side of this battle, but you know, it was just, you know, razzing him about it. I don't, like you said, people listen to what they listen to and they strike them in whatever way at whatever time, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll judge your karaoke choices not what you listen to
Unless
in
you're
the
Kent,
comfort of your
apparently.
own home. Unless you're Kent.
And then Corey will
I just
judge
want
you.
to annoy you.
Kent,
Yeah,
I
I just
you.
want to drive you crazy. Yeah. You're cool, Kent.
You're cool.
So there's that. I wanted to discuss it. Always
Speaking of
we don't really discuss music a lot.
Yeah, we don't. We should more.
Yeah, we should discuss more music. Yeah. We'll do that in the future.
We should do iTunes roulette or something.
Oh my gosh, iTunes roulette would be great. I'm getting a new mixer. I have a mixer hooked up right now that is older than God and is why I don't sound super great at the moment. But when I get a new mixer, I can plug in and we can really go to town on some iTunes roulette. That would be great. Which also, that reminds me, we should announce our plan that we came up with today that's going to be amazing. Had the idea of having a Fancave Emmys.
Yeah.
Which will occur before the actual Emmys, and we'll give out awards to the people who really should be getting those awards in our not so humble opinions.
And we'll have our own categories.
Our own categories for it.
Categories that they should have, and we've been saying
like best face.
Best face. And if you don't know who's already getting that, then you're an idiot. But we're not going to spoil it here.
We're not going to spoil it.
But if you know us at all, you already know who's getting it.
Yeah, you know who's getting best face. So it's going to be great. You guys are going to want to tune in for that before you watch the actual Emmys. We know you'll be having an Emmys party, and you can just put us up on your screen and yell at us and listen.
Yeah, and I don't know if it'll be a full episode. It might just, it definitely it won't be like boring like the actual Emmys.
No. Isn't Kimmel hosting it this year? I actually don't mind the Emmys as much as other things. I mean, the Tonys are the best award show, but
I think they're all kind of boring. I usually just wait.
Talked about that. Yeah.
I'm not super into award shows. Okay. I like to see I'm that person. I mean, I probably just contribute to the sexism, but I love to see what people are wearing. I don't care who they're wearing. I don't want them to. I don't really want to watch any interviews on the red carpet.
Yeah, the interviews are the worst. They're so hard to watch. It's so painful.
I just want like adorable like photo bombs or like cute pictures of like celebrities. I just like to watch the gifs of like people like walking behind people and being like,
yes, Benedict Cumberbatch.
I want those. Yeah, I want cute stories of like people meeting people that they love or backstage stories. But I don't super want to. And like maybe some good speeches if someone already filters out the good ones for me. But I don't want to sit and like endure them.
I get that. That's totally fair. So anyway. What do we have on the docket here? Besides that?
Well, speaking of music that we're never gonna get tired of, you guys. So Corey even had a case of the Hamilton Whispers, as we call them, Keo has dubbed them the Hamilton Whispers. And if you don't know what that is, if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
Now you know. Hamilton Whispers are when you just find yourself randomly singing Hamilton under your breath, which happens to us a lot, actually. Is most of our life. But anyway, the point is that they had their final. So Ham for Ham is like this lottery kind of little mini show that Lin-Manuel Miranda used to host outside of the theater, but then kind of passed it off to Rory O'Malley when Lin left the show. Rory O'Malley plays the King George in Hamilton, and so they just host these like they lots of times have famous people show up and they sing, and it's like these just adorable little mini. I mean, they're like 10 minutes long. So cute. And so today they had their final. What was it today or whenever they posted the video? I think it was today. It was actually today
because Lin-Manuel posted a thing today from a beach somewhere that was like, "I'm so excited," or "Congratulations on the Ham for Ham that's about to happen," and then dives back into the sea.
So anyway, it's they do these little mini things, and so today Alex Lacamoire comes out with like this big band, that plays for the Hamilton show, and then Renee Elise Gold comes out and who plays Angelica. And is amazing and won a Tony and is beautiful and fantastic and we love her. And she's actually going to be in that Henrietta movie, right? Oh God, the life.
I remember she's casting. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks.
Thank you. was like, I was getting there. I was going to get there eventually. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that she comes out and sings this song that Lin-Manuel had written at this one point. It was called Congratulations, and it kind of got cut, sort of. It sort of just got chopped up and stuck inside of another song. But she sings kind of what the full extent of it was, and it was magical.
So magical. And I found that there's actually
moment.
on SoundCloud, you can find it. So if you listen to the audio version of the podcast, you can hear it at the end of the show. That'll be what we end with or begin with. I haven't decided. It's between Gene Wilder at the end or beginning and Renee Lee Scolberry at the end or beginning. But oh my gosh, it was so wonderful, her coming out, and the crowd went wild.
Crazy.
Of course. As soon as they heard what song, like, they knew this had been a cut song and everything, people were just like, what?
Yeah.
And it's so, oh man, it's great. It's
so great. I'm so sad that it got cut. She would have just nailed it. Like, it would have been so good.
Yeah. But it's the point at which the Reynolds pamphlet is released, and Angelica basically comes and is like, you douchebag, nobody even accused you of cheating. Why did you just release this to everyone? And it's like, your political ambitions are like got in the way, and you've ruined your family's life over not wanting to ruin your political life. And it's of course super emotional and wonderful.
Yeah.
I cried.
It was great. So you guys should check out the video. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you'll get to hear a bit of it. But if you are watching, make sure you check it out. We'll link to it on the blog. It's just wonderful, and you should watch all of the Ham for Hams. They're really fun. They've had some really great people, and it's just kind of a fun little like thing that they've have done. So it's been nice. But anyway, in other things that we love more than anything in the world, well, we love other things, but that's obviously hyperbole.
We love hyperbole more than anything in the world.
We do love hyperbole more than we use it more than anything in the world. I do, for sure. Who doesn't? Tom. Tom doesn't use it. But anyway.
No, Tom does not use. Tom Letterall does not use.
Does not have time for hyperbole. Anyway, we finally got confirmation from Netflix themselves that there will be a season 2 of Stranger Things, and they did it in, of course, the best, most Stranger Things way possible.
Yes.
As everyone is so obsessed with the opening credit scene and the opening music and the logo. Hey-oh. Men of
Stranger
Things too.
Stranger Things, Men of Low Moral Fiber.
Men of Low Moral Fiber has, oh my gosh, that's something I can't say, apparently. Men of Low Moral Fiber. I finally listened to their side quest episode about Stranger Things, and it was so cute because at one point they legitimately sounded like us talking about like Justin Timberlake. I'm like, oh my god, they're like talking about Nancy, talking about Nancy and Steve. And you guys, if you haven't watched it, you should first. I'm not going to give any spoilers by any means, but watch Stranger Things and then just listen. Well, I mean, you should listen to their whole podcast anyway. But this one is just so cute because they're like, I mean, I don't know. And they're like just trying to dissect this relationship between Nancy and Steve, and like they're definitely Team Steve. They're like so cute. But I was like, you guys are killing me right now of how adorable you are. I couldn't handle it.
Anyway, it's delightful. Definitely check that out if you're a Stranger Things fan. Woo, words are really.
I know. If you're not a Stranger Things fan, watch Stranger Things. You have almost an entire year before season 2 comes out. So fall of 2017 is when the second season is supposed to drop. And we'll just wait to see the awesomeness that will come from that. We're obviously pumped because we love it.
But it was pretty cool, I love that they released it this way with this sort of list of mysteries and attributes of the show over the theme song. And, I honestly took me by surprise. I was expecting, at some point we were going to get a confirmation. I was just like, yes, this is happening. Yeah. Sort of little teaser thing for us. And to say, I mean, essentially what this says is we're going to get more of these things. We're going to get some answers to things. We're going to get to see some stuff that was teased in the first season. So it's kind of like a promise in a way. The Duffer Brothers have probably already got the entire trajectory of this season, the show figured out.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm delighted.
It's pretty great. And Netflix just keeps on making us love them more and more. They are just really on a hot streak.
They really are.
Because also, side note, they released this cool video about the music in Luke Cage that everyone should watch, and it's amazing.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but
that's a side note. It's really not about it's just about the music and then making the music and what they want anyway. And they're basically just gushing about how much they're excited about Luke Cage, the people who make the music, which is amazing. So anyway, that's a side note. What's really exciting is that Bill Nye the Science Guy himself is coming back to TV.
Bill.
He's going to do like a talk show, and it's called Bill Nye Saves the World. And it sounds like it's going to be everything you want it to be. A little bit of experiments, a little bit of him talking to people, him probably just being awesome and sciencey and trying to dropping some knowledge on us.
Dropping some knowledge.
He's going to give us a verse.
I love Bill Nye.
He's going to give us a verse. Drop some knowledge.
Yeah. I'm stoked on this. I love the idea of getting more Bill Nye in my life. I mean, when I was a kid, this was like my dad and I would sit after school and watch Bill Nye together. And he's always been, a fixture in my life. And I love that in the past, few years, he's really had a resurgence. He was always kind of around. They'd bring him in on stuff. But now...
Yeah. He was one of those things where
Did you see?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, did you see the photo shoot that he did with, it was Stephen Hawking and Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No. I didn't.
And he looks like a total stud. He's like in his suit and everything, with the jacket off, and you're like, this guy.
Bill.
Bill.
No, it was funny. It was when he was one of those guys where, because he was like on a kid's show, I just thought I didn't know if I actually thought he was a scientist or not,
Right, or if he was just an actor playing.
Yeah, like an actor. And then it was like when it went in the past few years, it's come up. I'm like, oh no, Bill Nye's like actually a scientist. Yeah. Like he's actually a science guy, which is fun. So but same thing.
That reminds me of
I watched it all the time, so it was a staple as well around our house.
I saw someone I can't remember like what stupid thing it was over or whatever, but someone had challenged Neil deGrasse Tyson's education or whatever. And he's like, well, you can see it right here. And on the website of, I don't know what the organization is, but it has like his CV, which is like a mile long. It's even longer than Avery Holton's CV. And it goes forever. And it's like, all of his degrees and then the places where he teaches and the places where he's, on these committees and councils and whatnot. And you're like, you want to try that again with the, this guy's a fake TV scientist thing? Or, he also had the best takedown of a sexist joke this week, where one of those like Twitter joke pages had made a joke about like basically if women had been the ones landing on the moon, it was like, Houston, we have a problem. What is it? Oh, never mind. Like, no, what is it? I'm fine. And it was like just a dumb joke. But then Neil deGrasse Tyson takes it and he's like, haha, see, it's funny because women were the ones who did all the calculations that got men to the moon. Women have been discriminated against and were outright barred from NASA for years. And he just goes through all these things that are really terrible.
Yeah.
That women in sciences have been treated. Like women are more likely to be sexually harassed in science programs and all these kinds of things. And then like his like, so yeah, haha, or something at the end of it. And I was like, oh shoot, NDT, what? I love public figure scientists.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. As a science nerd who happens to be in the humanities, I'm thankful for those guys. Yeah. Meanwhile, movie-wise, we found out this week what Thor was up to while everybody was doing Civil War.
I'm so glad they released this. I've been waiting because it was at Comic-Con and we heard that it was a thing, but no, there was somehow never got leaked. And I was like, what the F? Come on. That's like next to Wonder Woman trailer. That's kind of what I wanted to see. the most.
Right, like this is kind of a huge one, so how they managed to keep it under wraps for this long is amazing. But they released this short that's basically Thor in Australia being kind of bothersome, roommate and coworker type person who is just like a normal guy.
Daryl.
That he's clearly irritating. And
but not, I didn't take it that way. I wasn't sure if he was irritating or if Daryl was just indifferent to the fact that Thor was there.
Yeah, that he was like a thing.
Because like even though Thor's like asking him all these annoying questions, like he's just like, well, I'm gonna be at work, so I can't. Yeah, I can't do that. It was like, Thor, like you're embarrassing me. It's just kind of like,
right.
He just seemed like a bump on the log, a little bit, like had zero personality, like absolutely none. That's more of what I was taking from him, more than he was like annoyed, because he didn't seem overtly like rolling his eyes. He's just kind of like, or almost like he was dumb, you know, a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought it was perfect because like even in the interview, he's like sitting there and just like it's almost like, how long do I have to sit here for? Like, can I go back to the games or whatever it was that I was doing? You know?
Yeah, like he just doesn't understand why this is a thing right now.
Like almost that he doesn't know who Thor is.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah. Which, according to that one guy who wrote that piece about Margot Robbie, Australia is so backwards they probably wouldn't know who Thor is. So
nailed it.
They would have no idea. It's so funny. And my favorite part actually is when the Hulk comes into it and starts like trying to figure out why he keeps waking up wearing cutoffs. Yeah. He's like, I'm wearing pants and then poof, cutoffs, you know? And he does something where he goes like, hello, or something like that, you know? That's
what's happening.
It's so goofy. And, you know, because Bruce Banner is like not usually the funny guy in those movies, it's fun to see him being this.
Yeah, mine was a tie because I did love that part, but I really love Thor's like wall of like trying to figure out the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy in the purple chair, like, why is he always sitting down? Like, does he like sitting, whatever it was, or like the picture of where he's like, what if you move this? He's holding a tiny Thor, and it was like, and it was like those like where he has like red thread. It's just string. He just like tied string on it, and just the things he had up there were so funny.
Yeah,
I absolutely
like a really
cracking up.
Cute relationship with his hammer and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's like got a little bed, which was hilarious. Or when Daryl was trying to like vacuum or Swiffer or something, and it was like in the floor. And he's like,
yeah. You guys don't take our word for it. You have to watch it. It's gonna make you happy.
It will.
It's a happy thing to enjoy. So we're keeping it really light because last week, you know, there's so much heavy stuff. This week, there's just so much nice stuff.
Also, can I say one thing just on the thread of things that make you happy? So I'm like recently super obsessed with John Baptiste, who
I have noticed that. Yeah. Well, it's because it's like they've been making a big deal of him on which show is he on?
Oh, I don't know if they have. So like a few months ago, I found this video of him from Colbert. He's the band leader on Colbert.
That's it, Colbert.
I found this video of him where he's like teaches you how to. It says like John Baptiste teaches you how to fashion, and I was like, click on it, and he's like the most adorable human ever created, and he's like talking about his, and it's like one of those bad instructional videos, you know. And he's like, so like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, anyway, and it's just like cheesy and delightful, and he's like so wonderful, and I'm like, I love him so much. So then I just started watching all of these videos that he does. And then I like bought his albums. So I'm like just a huge John Baptiste fan, but I love the videos that he does. And fun fact, I like posted it on Twitter. I was like, if you ever just like having a bad day, like watch a John Baptiste instructional video. And I'm like, it went viral, you guys. I got like 30 likes from people I don't know. Like liked it. And the Colbert show like retweeted it, you know? I was like, oh my God, I'm like basically famous, internet famous.
That's amazing.
I know. It was a good
congratulations.
Big competition. You guys, like 30 people liked it.
Yeah. Did you get one of those bot tweets that says like congratulations on your 30 favorite posts or whatever?
No.
Sometimes you do that. That's your next goal. Next goal is
killed it.
The face.
Anyway,
yeah, I'm sorry.
But you should also watch John Baptiste's instructional video. Watch the one who teaches you how to play the piano. Okay. It's also very delightful. Anyway.
Okay. I'm in.
Sorry.
It's a good side note. Forget about it. Oh, and in other comic book movie news, we found out who the next Batman villain will be. In a random video on Ben Affleck's Facebook page. It kind of took people by surprise. And can I just say, one of the things that's funny about this is that, like, the day this came out was the day that Facebook had eliminated humans from their algorithm. Did you see that? So their algorithm is run by a machine now. It's all computer-based. It's programmed to run. And it went haywire. And so trending topics were all over the place, and like some of them were like really inappropriate, like one about a guy getting it on with a McChicken sandwich, or one that was fake, like Megyn Kelly being fired from Fox and all that. And so I was trying to follow it, and there were all these kinds of things popping up. So it was like every time I like reloaded my Facebook, there was a new set of trending topics. And so when Batman came up on there, I was like, meh, whatever. It's probably not even a thing. But I was like, I'll click it. And so Ben Affleck had posted this video that's like the dailies of some sort or something. Like, I mean, I guess it's not
silent video.
CGI. Yeah, it's like a CGI thing, but it's on a screen. The new villain approaching, and the villain sort of walks forward, and he looks to like from side to side, and so like he pans the camera as if he's looking for what he's looking for or something. And that's it. It's just there's no sound or anything. And the villain will be Deathstroke. Deathstroke, who I don't know a ton about, because as I've said many times, I don't really read DC comics or Batman, but is some sort of, according to Wikipedia, mercenary and assassin, who's originally the archenemy of the Teen Titans. And it says the writers have developed him over the years as an adversary of other heroes in the DC universe, and parallels have been established between him and Batman. He has a deep-seated grudge against Green Arrow. And apparently someone was saying, he appears on the actual show Green Arrow, right?
He was on Arrow. I mean, that was like almost a whole season, I think. I saw the same thing. Someone else had posted. I think it was Duncan or is Jordan. I think it was one of them, actually. One of the brothers there. Yeah, that's the end of the story. That guy. He was the bad guy on Arrow for a long time. I didn't know where I was going with that.
Good story.
I didn't know I was going with that. It was great. He was a great villain. I loved him.
Okay.
And it was the guy it's the guy, and I think he's from New Zealand, maybe. See, I feel like the next thing I'm going to give you is still not going to know who he is. He's in that Shannara Chronicles show.
Oh, yep, nope, not so much.
I know. It's like I'm trying to think of other things that he's been in, but I feel like I don't know other than Arrow.
Let's see. His name.
He's got a great voice.
Manu Bennett?
Yeah. That's him.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, this is loading really slowly. But yeah, he's not, apparently the rumor is, and I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, that Joe Manganiello is going to be. Oh. And thus, when I read that rumor and then watched him walk, I was like, yeah, that looks like Joe Manganiello. It's like he has the posture and.
But he definitely looks like he's about to rip off that costume and be like.
Yep. Clearly, what you do is to really step up the Batman game. I think if they want to make it a more lighthearted, franchise, that would probably do it. Yeah. So
he's like, got to get Batman to crack.
Ben Affleck.
So what does he do?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
I like your stripper moves, Kristen.
Thanks.
Really, really nailed that. Oh, he was on a TV show that I liked called The Strip television show. It was like just a standard like procedural, but it had one of the guys from McCloud's Daughters, which I was obsessed with at the time. So I was like, okay, I'll watch that. Why not? I would watch anything with those people at that point. So yeah, we know Deathstroke will be the villain, and I don't know if that's something to be excited about or not, but people seem pretty stoked on it. No, we'll see. I think I'm just in general, like, I need to see what's going to happen with the Batman solo movie on its own anyway, because I haven't been super pleased with what's already come out. But I love Ben Affleck movie, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
What
else we got? Oh, we got this depressing movie.
So there's this movie, and everyone was sharing it the other day. Listen, here's the weird thing. So it was International Dog Day last week, and everyone was posting about dogs and stuff, but for some reason, I kept on seeing a strange amount of posts about people's animals dying, and then, like, science about why we're sad about animals dying, and all this kind of stuff. So everything has been about the death of animals lately, which stresses me out because then I'm just, like, really panicked about my dog all the time. But so this movie is coming out. This kid gets a pet dog, and, you know, the dog helps set him up with this girl that he falls in love with and is, like, his soulmate.
It's a very cute video.
Yeah, it's super cute. Then the dog dies.
Yeah.
But the dog, like, comes back as another dog that helps another person, and then dies again, and comes back and helps another person, and dies again, and then comes back, and Dennis Quaid, I think, is, like, the grown-up version of the kid he helped in the first place, and is no longer with the woman that he had been with in the beginning, who's clearly his soulmate. So the movie's called A Dog's Purpose. And it's, I mean, the dog dying in something is
always traumatic.
A thing people avoid. Yeah, it's this. I still have not seen Marley and Me because I'm like, no, I'm just not going to do that to myself. It doesn't matter how much I love the dog the entire time. Dog die. And so this just happening over and over again, and dogs that you like, they're the main character and you get to love that dog, even if you know it's going to come back to life. I don't think my heart can take it. Also, I imagine there's probably going to be an emotional scene at the end where it dies for the last time or something.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and I just...
Or maybe not. Maybe it'll just be a hopeful movie.
Yeah.
It is Josh Gad, right? Isn't that who the voice is?
Is it? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
It's been a couple days since I watched it, but it sounds Josh Gad-esque.
And he's happy, so.
Yeah. But this was circling around on the Facebook and everything for a while, and I was like, just every time someone I watched it when my friend Xander posted it, and then I was just sobbing, and I was like, oh, no more. And I was surprised that
I too got tricked into watching it. Someone had posted and it was like, oh, this made me think of so-and-so. And I was like, oh, so I clicked, or something. It made me think of whatever. And I was like, oh, so I clicked on it. I was like, oh yeah, this is nice. And I was like, wait.
No.
What's happening? What's happening? I was like, he dies every time. He dies every time. Like, all these people get attached to him, and there are all these, like, owners that are, like, so lovely and, like, so loving and wonderful. And you're like, oh.
Need the dog. That's like, we all know we need dogs. In fact, that was one of the things that I was reading about animals and why we get so sad when they die, and specifically dogs. And, you know, the theory is that it's an evolutionary thing because dogs have teamed with humans since basically Neanderthals. So not with humans, they teamed with Neanderthals. And dogs would go and, like, try to tire out prey. And then it would be dangerous for them to then go and approach them. So the humans would kill them with spears and share what they got out of it, you know? And, like, basically there's been this connection between man and dogs forever. And it's only been within the past couple hundred years that we've started, but there's this relationship and this companionship between them. And another study came out that says, you know, dogs apparently seem to understand more human language than we give them credit for. And so it's, you know, we get very attached to our dogs. They get very attached to us. And that's why dogs can't die in movies. You know, it's not just that we're heartless douchebags that don't care that, you know, humans die but hate that dogs die. It's that we have this symbiotic relationship with them and that we see ourselves as caretakers for them they see themselves as caretakers for us. And so if they die, we feel personally responsible for it because they're supposed to be in our care, you know? That's the science I've been reading this week is dog death.
Wow.
Yeah. And dog language, which I feel bad about because I've called my dog ugly many a time.
Oh.
If he understands me. He doesn't have body image issues, I don't think. I think he's comfortable with himself. I think he's all right. So there's that. You can watch that trailer if you want. Dog's Purpose, or don't. We told you what happens in it, so now you won't be tricked.
Yeah.
I'm just hopping over it. But you know what looks really happy? Or maybe, just pretty. La La Land.
Yeah, it's like, it could end horribly. I don't know what's going on in it.
Yeah, that's the thing. So the trailers that have been released for La La Land are very ambiguous in what's happening. They're very musical with just scenes of things happening. Damien Chazelle made it, the same guy who made Whiplash.
Wasn't that terrible movie that was like really mean and that guy was like emotionally abused?
I mean, in the movie, I don't think in real life he was.
Right, but that's the one with Miles Teller, right? And J.K. Simmons?
Yeah, the one with Miles Teller. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah.
Did you see it?
No, of course. I watched the trailer and I was like, "This is traumatic. I'm not watching this movie." I couldn't even watch the trailer, and I was like, so much anxiety filled. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna watch this."
It's very it's tough to watch, especially if you've ever had like a teacher like that. So Damien Chazelle based Whiplash. Actually, when I saw Whiplash, I saw it with a Q&A with Damien Chazelle. And he had a band director who was actually a lot like this. It was kind of based on his own experiences. And I definitely had a teacher in high school who reminded me a lot of this guy. So I was like watching it and I was just like, this gives me 9th grade flashbacks. This is why I stopped going to school. It's not fun, but it's a good movie. He's a really good screenwriter and director. And so he did this one now, which is very different from Whiplash. And it's Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. And the trailer has her singing beautifully, and just these really pretty scenes. You can't really tell what the movie's about. Some sort of relationship strife, some sort of trying to make it good in Hollywood, but it just looks pretty.
It does look pretty.
And the music sounds nice.
Yeah. I kind of want someone to go to see it and tell me if it's sad, and then I can make a decision.
Because it definitely has that potential. It could be something that ends up being like heartbreaking.
Right. But it could just be like a delightful, like whimsical movie. I like whimsy. There's
whimsy.
Not enough whimsy in my life.
Yeah. That's you nailed it. Whimsy is what this movie seems to have, and I want that. I want that whimsy from this movie. So I'm tentatively excited about it. I like Damien Chazelle. He's also just like a super nice guy. He's our age or like a year older. He's like 30 or 31. And can't believe his luck and is delightful, you know? Like to be at the time like 29 and come out with a movie that gets him, you know, an Oscar nomination and everything. He's just like,
right.
What is happening?
Wow,
here?
Gee, sir, I just can't believe it. Isn't that swell?
Pretty much, yeah. That's kind of his demeanor. He's a really cool dude. So I'm excited about La La Land. Plus, of course, we're still excited about Magnificent Seven, which is getting closer and closer. And I did finally binge watch, Kristen, all of these videos.
Oh my gosh, did you love them? They were so great.
They were wonderful. I'm in love with everyone in it.
Me too.
So great. I think amongst them, my favorite was probably Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
Just because I liked the way he talks.
Yeah.
And
I liked, I loved everything about it. But you guys, they've released now Chris Pratt's character profile for Magnificent Seven. I don't know if we even said the name of the movie, but.
I think I said, of course, we're excited for Magnificent Seven.
Excited about. So there is the newest one, which is Chris Pratt. And you really should, if you're not following him on Facebook, you should. And Instagram, we've said he's hysterical.
Yeah.
You should really go and find the post that he's done that has the video to it, because it's this adorable, like, 10-thing list about the movie, and it's great and very true to Chris Pratt fashion and wonderful. So it's great. But yeah, his guy is also pretty funny, and his character seems to be the sort of, at first I thought maybe the only comic relief, but then Vincent D'Onofrio also seems like he's probably a funny character. Yeah. So I think it's gonna, I don't know, I'm excited about it. I'm pumped, obviously. So go and watch
the final
season if you haven't watched it yet. Go watch it.
Yeah, you will not regret it. I mean, we keep telling you to do this. You should probably listen to us.
I feel like every week we talk about this.
Yeah. So go watch it.
Go watch
delightful.
it. And then another sort of relatable in Chris Pratt news, kind of, because they were in a movie together once.
Oh, yep. I see how you're.
Actually, what's happening here is I'm actually taking full credit for this news and the news that we shared with you last week, because I, as noted, recently discovered Selfie. Corey and Bree have both now rewatched Selfie since I've watched it, because I was like live Facebooking them about it. And we have some delightful news. The Rock, we follow him on Instagram, and he dropped some news about the Jumanji sequel that, they're coming. It's a continuation. He's wanted to remind us it's not a reboot or a remake.
It's not a reboot.
It's simply a sequel to the beloved Robin Williams version.
Right.
And so the cast already is The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Nick Jonas, which I think I'd missed the fact that he was going to be in it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, sort of random. And they're like, he's like, we're looking, he posts this whole this whole thing of like, we're looking for that one girl that has, and he's just delightful human.
Yeah.
And he has this beautiful picture of Karen Gillan up there. And so she's going to be the newest cast member of this Jumanji sequel or whatever. And it just already seems like he's in love with her. I feel like he's in love with everybody.
Yeah. No, I think that's true.
Posting about his the women that he works with, it's always these like, this is the most strong person I've ever met in my life. It just goes on and on. And so he's posted this delightful thing, which you really should read, because then he has this like paragraph in the middle that's really hysterical, talking about Nick Jonas being a rock star, Kevin being hilarious, Jack being a genius, and like and then this tall tattooed Samoan who's like beautiful and amazing and whatever. Anyway, it's funny.
Oh God, I love The Rock so much.
I know, me too. He's just delightful. So anyway, Karen Gillan is also going to be in the new Jumanji. I'm very curious because this cast seems super random to me.
It's so random, but I love all of them.
Me too. So I'm like, it's probably going to be great still. I'm obviously going to wait and hold judgment. I'm just like, and because it is a sequel, I'm like, well, there's no kids in it, which kind of like the point of the original Jumanji was, it was a game with kids. So I'm like wondering like, well, what are all these adults going to do? Is it, I don't know.
I'm very curious. And it was, did you see Zathura?
I didn't, but it's actually been on my queue for a long time, because you said it was Jumanji in space, but then I was
and it's
never got around. It's like one of those ones I just never got around to watching, honestly.
So great. Oh man. See, I loved Zathura so much. It's Josh Hutcherson, some little kid that I don't know if he ever did anything else. Kristen Stewart, Dax Shepard in space, and it's such a delight. So I love that so very much. And given that was a different book by the same author, so it's not quite the same thing also as a sequel, but I have high hopes for coming out with another Jumanji. Honestly, I'm getting so bored of people's complaints about Hollywood rebooting things. Like, fine, don't watch them, but entertaining a good portion of the time. I like Magnificent Seven and Jumanji being things I'm excited about. I'm like, really? I kind of let them stand on their own merits. Either they're a good movie or they aren't, but that they came from something else doesn't super bother me.
Yeah. I'm more excited now knowing that Jumanji is a sequel.
Right.
Because at first I thought it was a reboot. I didn't realize it was a sequel until actually I was reading that thing about, I guess I hadn't read too much about it other than the fact that it was happening. Or maybe I didn't, I forgot. So I was like, oh, that actually makes me more excited, because I feel like you can take it in a very different, you have more creativity that way, where it's like such a cool concept where this like game comes to life, so I think it could still be really fun. So
yeah, I agree. That's a good point. Like, the whole remaking the same story thing, that's a little hit or miss. But if you make something that's in the same universe, a sequel, whatever, I'm willing to give it a go.
Yeah. You want to give it a go?
You want to give it a go?
Time is running out.
There it is. And it is indeed running out. So thank you so much for joining us this fine late August evening, last day of August, moving into September. We hope that you are enjoying the final days of summer, being awesome fangirls and fanboys. Make sure that you subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Electric Fan Cave, and go to the blog on electricfeast.com if you want links to all the things that we've talked about. And rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher and other websites that allow you to rate and review us, because more people can listen to us then, and then you'll have something to talk about around the water cooler. So prepare yourself for the Fan Cave Emmys, and if you have any category ideas, them to us. For this week, I'm Corrigan Vaughn.
And I'm Kristen Lotterell.
Peace out, everybody.
Take it easy, kids.